I believe that helping families of inmates is important because over 95% of inmates in prison are coming back to our community. They need connections with their family members in order to be successful when they come out. They need help getting to job interviews, need help with housing, and families are the people who are going to do that.
Families are often sort of the forgotten victims of crime, if you will, because they're left to fend for themselves after the person who's committed the crime goes to prison, and often that person was one of the breadwinners of the family, and so the families are left to fend for themselves. And I think ministering to them in this way is very consistent with the New Testament injunction to visit people in prison. To me, that extends to the families.
I believe that family is everything. And just as I relish the time that I have with my family, I think that others do as well. And when we keep these connections, or we help people keep these connections, we're helping keep their family unit intact.
I believe in keeping families together. And it's important that you have that face-to-face visit with your loved ones so they'll know that you care about them, that it's someone waiting out here when they do come home, and that all hope is not lost. You have AFOI who's in your corner, and they'll guide you through your process when you do come home. And then you have family that loves you, that are waiting to welcome you back into the community.
You know, with the abolition of parole in Virginia, every one of these people is going to complete their sentence and be back in our community at some point. And so if they return to the same friends and the same neighborhood circumstances that got them into trouble, then they're probably going to be back in prison. I think the research shows that people who receive regular family visits and have something to go back to other than their friends on the street have a better chance of succeeding.
I'm very proud of the growth in our services. We've seen growth across all of our programs, transportation, the Milk and Cookies Children's Program, and our video visitation services. Also very proud of our relationships that have been established with the Department of Corrections and Department of Juvenile Justice, and with so many partnering organizations that are critical to the work that we do here.
In the next 5 years, I'd like to see assisting families of inmates bring the video visitation program to homes across Virginia, throughout the United States, and in some cases, to places around the world. Those family connections are critical to people who can't get to a prison to visit their loved one. I'd also like to see our Milk and Cookies Children's Program be brought to a larger audience of children who are impacted by parental incarceration. We're able to reduce the trauma that's associated with parental incarceration in the lives of so many children, and I think it's important to be able to continue to expand our reach.
You get to make friends fairly easily when you're going to the same facility, and you get an opportunity to converse with other family members to understand the difficulties that they encounter and how AFOI has helped them to maneuver through some of the red tape that you have to encounter when you visit the facilities.
Instances where, and this still happens, where people aren't dressed appropriately to conform to the rules, and you have to sort of help them understand why the rules are what they are, and that they have to, get in a position to comply with the DOC regulations about dress when they visit. And helping people one-on-one at that sort of level is very satisfying, I think.
If I had one wish for the families that we serve, it would be that we truly help them heal and get through this process and cope with the separation, and also assist them in the reintegration process once their loved one comes home.
You know, a lot of these people really haven't had much of a chance. I can remember talking to inmates who would say, nobody has ever cared about me in my whole life. And that's a sobering thought, that you and I have not had that experience, and so we just assume that everybody has somebody who cares about them. That's not the way a lot of inmates feel. And so to the extent you can keep family connections, that's what we're about, and that's a major accomplishment as far as I'm concerned over a long period of time now.
When the buses come back and you get a chance to talk with the other family members, and you ask them, how was your visit? And they say, oh, it was really nice, and they're so appreciative of the meals that are being served and that somebody else is thinking about them. I think that's very memorable to me, and why I appreciate AFOI so much. Yeah.